I ask that all the time. You know what the London Underground is? It's their subway system. So the train um, metaphor carries through the name of the show, and the podcast was conceived as and virtual railway, moving people around the secular area, different parts of the secular movement, and then that would be the topic of the show, right? And so, an atheist underground, somebody just suggested it as a name, probably like an underground movement type of thing, which I guess is a nice connotation. It wasn't really the way I thought it right away. I thought of, oh, like the London Underground, like subway system. And I'm a train guy anyway. I just love trains, and so I figured I'd go with that theme, And it also is reminiscent of the Underground Railroad, right? And we tend to think of ourselves as trying to help people out of the emotional slavery um, that they've been held in for their indoctrinated lives, and so yeah, it all goes together in just a virtual train kind of thing. The Lord of Mold. Do I accept you as your Lord? I don't know. I haven't seen your mold, man. Is it good? Is it worthy? Appreciate you though. The Lord of Mold is here. I am the Lord of Mildew, and I will stamp out your mold with my mildew. I was arguing with a Christian. He was saying it takes faith to believe in scientism. Scientism now. If it takes it takes faith to believe in the evidence that you can see in front of you. That's really not faith. It's just accepting what your senses tell you. Yeah, people upset me with the whole science is a religion, atheism is a religion. People, they just want us to be stupid like them. It's really what it is. Hey, you're no different than us. Atheism is a religion. Really, buddy? Who's our leader? Who's our sacerdote? Where's our holy book? What's our defining dogma? What's our mission? What what are you talking about? But no, it makes it more comfortable for them to know that everybody has the same delusion that they do. It's just ours is different. But yeah, that's silliness. Now before the bow, now before the Lord of Mold, bow before the Lord of Mold. Mold is likely to end up outliving us all on the planet anyway, so why not be the Lord of Mold? In my humble opinion, Christianity's threat of damnation sounds like a toxic relationship. But this is what people don't really get, is it? And they foist the disease on you that you don't even have a reason to feel like you're sinful or guilty, but they tell you you are. That's the first part, right? They jam it into your head that you're evil, you're born sinful, you're a piece of shit. But we have the cure, yay! So yeah, of course, it's literally analogous to a toxic relationship. Who is using religion as an insult? There is a fungus among us, the Lord of Fungus. Greg Locke hates Trump for endorsing vaccines. Yeah, even Trump's not that stupid. These people let it go, man. You're about to go off on Christian dominionists. Where at? Hey, Gaius Twink, what's up? Good to see you. And hello to all my gay friends out there. Love you long time. I'm gonna pull the Reddit up because there was some shit there I wanted to talk about. There was some good stuff too. I want to say. Um, somebody. Wow, a lot of new stuff since I looked. This is a really good article. Not article, just a post on Reddit. And I'm going to read it to you quick because it really struck me that it hits it right on the head. There's no true separation of church and state, no matter how much they try to convince us otherwise. There are theocratic countries like Iran that is so obviously the case, but what I'm talking about are Western democracies that purport to have been founded on the ideals of separation of church and state, among others. Ha! Who are you fooling? How many times do we see politicians make dumb, backward, draconian, ludicrous decisions based on the church's hold on the voting population? Bingo! Texas, for example, is going backwards as far as abortion laws because religious nutjobs run the government, but they have the highest rate of prisoners executed. Texas! Woo! Many states don't allow euthanasia, yet turn a blind eye when hospice people withhold food and drink to a dying person to speed up their death. Torture. Of course, it's against human rights, in parentheses, obviously. Most community services like foster care, schools, hospitals, the list goes on, are run by church-based institutions. In fact, in many countries, they're the only places you can get a decent education. Why? Because government funding goes to them in addition to other tax-free income streams they already have. So state-based institutions suffer and spiral further downwards, and certain people, mostly secular people and minorities, remain firmly at the bottom of the barrel no matter how hard they try. Bingo. Number two, the Western world needs an exit strategy from religion, a true commitment to separation of church and state. Otherwise, many of the achievements that democracies have achieved, a little bit redundant there, buddy, in the last 100 years or so will go backwards. We're already seeing examples of civil liberties being taken away for the sake of going back to our puritanical past. Really thoughtful post. You can't fucking write it any better than that. This guy is right fucking on. Thank you. Onyx, a lot of numbers, wrote that. And it's really what's going on and what we're fighting in America. Ashton the man, what's up? Jacob Morton, 13. Hit at me. You like my nails? You haven't seen my nails? You haven't been out in that long? So they got like a quarter of an inch below them. They're new with their gel coats, so they're like hanging on forever. It feels really different because I don't usually let my fingernails get this long, but they're strong because of the gel coat. So I don't mind, getting them long. I'm like, all right, very strange. I don't know what I'm gonna do next. You can't like let them get halfway out there. You look like a bad dye job with the roots coming out, man. But I'm not like Mr. Pedicure or manicure every week. So I don't know. I'll have to decide. I need to get that shit off. Do regular nail polish take that stuff off? The gel, I've never seen it before. For $10, like, damn, if you want your nails to last, it's worth the $10, that's for sure. All religion, my friend, is simply evolved out of fraud, fear, greed, imagination, and poetry. Well, poetry is nice. At least that's 1 out of 4. Not bad. Oh, imagination, I guess, is good. Ron DeSantis is banning stuff that makes white people uncomfortable. Oh, yeah, somebody got put on leave for suggesting that their employees get the vaccine. Or somebody in government somewhere. Did you guys see that? I can find that one. What the actual fuck? Somebody in Florida got like put on ice in their government job because they suggested that their staffers all get vaccinated. The love of Christ, thanks, I'll pass. You don't like the love of Christ? I have a feeling that Christ was a really good lover for a smelly, unwashed first century Palestinian. Why would a dead man love me? How could a dead man love you is a better question. But it's all nice. I love Jesus too, right? Nice guy, good story. Gave great foot rubs. Wacky shit out there, my friends. I'm an atheist, but yikes. God doesn't send you to hell. You choose to go to hell. It's always a good one, right? Anti-science governors drink anti-vax Kool-Aid. These 6 governors have seemingly made it there. We got, well, DeSantis, we know, right? DeSantis, Doug Ducey, Doug Ducey of Arizona. Who's from Arizona here tonight? You guys like Doug Ducey? Hey, fucking Governor Doug Ducey. Abbott in Texas, the fucking mental midget, the idiot at large in Texas. What a fucking embarrassment. Georgia Governor Brian Kemp, Tennessee Governor Bill Lee, Montana Governor Greg Gianforte. You ought to know better, Montana. Freedom to get COVID. Yes, these 6 governors trying to do what they can to spread COVID. So yeah, I think I'm going to get my booster on Monday. We'll see how that goes. I can hardly tolerate the Jesus fan fiction at this point. Beg Jacob Morton, I'm with you, buddy. Christ is a stolen story of work. Yeah, and Horus is stolen too, likely from other dying and rising sun gods. It's obvious that people started worshiping the sun and then sooner or later personified the sun with their mythic gods. Yes, thank you. Kiyodoka! Tap that screen, show your support, share the live, man. My followings have stagnated, and I'm still on the shadow ban from the clock app. I don't know why we're getting targeted like that, but it really seems to me like atheists are getting fucking hammered for that shit. I just appreciate all my followers. Love you people. Love spending the evenings with you guys, and wish we could get the word out. So do what you can. Share the live. The Bible is a poorly written, plagiarized myth. It's better written than the Quran. I'm well into it now. I read another 4 or 5 chapters, and you can see it. It's interesting now. I can see how his thinking evolved as he wrote this over the over his career, and or recited it, whatever the fuck he did. Um, it's poor. It's poorly written, but at least you can start to see as I get through it. But the idea that God would need to write such a repetitive book with redundant imagery over and over and over again, the same phraseology over and over again. We have to like take it for Arab speakers' words that Arabic version is beautiful, and that's great. So is the King James version of the Bible. Gives us some glorified speech and some fancy prose, and maybe it's a beautiful creation of the Arabic language. I have no fucking idea, but in English, it's rank. It's really really repetitive, threatening, and when I say repetitive, I mean crazy repetitive. If I have to read once more about how God's favor is going to be shown upon you by bestowing you with gardens beneath which the rivers flow, gardens beneath which the rivers flow. It's like, yeah, if you live in a desert, heaven is an oasis, and this is apparently the only way he can describe it. And it's over and over and over and over again. If you lived in Norway, your heaven would be a warm hall full of fire and cheer and mead and all your buddies and happy, warm times snuggled up with your wolfskin rugs and your furs and your women and your party in Valhalla, right? Because hell to those people was a place that it never got warm, where it was always cold, because that's what they knew, right? If you live in a desert, hell is a burning place. The imagery is just so obvious. Toot from Indiana. What's up? God don't even need a book. He could just create us already knowing about it. Yeah, that's true. He really could. Thanks, Twink. Indiana Heathen. Cakes and beer, Cletus 54. Yes, cakes and beer. Valhalla isn't the only afterlife. Is it an afterlife though, or is it a myth? At least the Cheeto is real. Arizona, my neighbors on my homestead. Oh yeah. Of course it is. Sorry about that, dude. You gotta put up with Arizona. Cheeto with a comb over. Agent Orange, I like to call him. Like the poison they poured on Vietnam. What's it like being a heathen in Indiana? Do you got to dodge like random signs at the ends of people's cornfields? Hell is real. Repent. Call for the truth. 1-800 for Jesus. Regular rates apply. Yeah, exactly. That's why Helheim in Norse mythology is a cold place. That's their worst nightmare, is a place where you couldn't escape the horrible cold, which they fucking lived with all the time. Oh, I bet, man. Saludos, Sway Works. What's up? You're going to single malt Scotch heaven? That sounds like an okay place. I'd rather go to high grade Sensimilla heaven, personally. Dominican, Juby Rosario, Juby Rosario, y Joby Roberto. You get it? What else is here for you guys? And what do you got for me? Huh? What do you guys want to talk about? I've been watching Poldark. You guys know Poldark? You know, now I'm into it, and I'm it's kind of a guilty pleasure. It's not bad. I'm a sucker for a period piece, and it's that. I think Downton Abbey. It's a masterpiece theater PBS thing, which are always good. If it's a period piece with good costumes, decent writing, and beautifully shot, which it is, then I'm a sucker for it. But it's fairly pedestrian and really derivative of Downton Abbey. I think 200 years earlier, same thing, class struggles, an indictment of the class system, changing economic times of stress and post-war England. So it's kind of the same, but it's more like a cheesy romance novel. I'm watching it and I'm like, oh my god, am I really watching this? You see these backdrops, and it looked like a cover of a romance novel at the grocery store that the housewives are buying. But it's good, and that guy's sexy. He really is. He looks like Jimmy Fallon, doesn't he? Looks like a kind of a more rugged, handsomer Jimmy Fallon. This dude. But yeah, I'm into it. Umbrella Academy. Okay. Okay. What's Seth Andrews' new book? You write a book? Some describe it as warm fires with your forefathers. That's all right. Because your forefathers were cool to you. Uh, 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 uh. Thoughts on Dan Dennett? Yeah, you know what? I tried to reach out to Dan a few times, and you only get a. I'm too busy to do interviews. He's pretty old now. I have a book that I haven't read from him, and I will. I'll read it. It's Intuition Pumps. I've not gotten to read it, but yeah, Dan Dennett, great thinker, great guy. Lots of cornfields. Where in Indiana? Where are you at, Laura Williams? Thanks, Bobcat. Appreciate you. Yubi, you got my joke, Yubi? You're afraid of the future? Yeah, well, aren't we all, man? Well, luckily, some of us will be here for less of it than others, but I fear for the future generations. I really do. I'm afraid I've lived through America's halcyon days, my friend. And we are on a decline from which there shall be no easy return. I do, in fact, accept you as Lord of Mold, but only of mold. Hello from the poet, but you would never know it. Are you the cyber poet? Hello, fellow poet myself. Got some limericks coming. I went through my limericks. I got 20 or so limericks that I didn't really realize were anti-religious that I can put up there that I got in my catalog of over 250 limericks that have written dirty, stinky, dirty, filthy limericks. So that'll be coming out when I can get around to doing it. Oh, his book's coming out in May. Good for Seth. Seth should run for president. He's squeaky clean. He's got no fucking scandal in his past. So that once they get past the atheism, they won't find anything on the guy. Nothing. He's as sweet as they come. He's loyal to his wife. He's honest. He doesn't have a bad bone in his body. He loves everybody. Loves dogs. What the fuck more could you want? What's up, bloody hypocrisies? Well, I'm here for you. We're here every Wednesday. You can count on it. Wednesday and Sunday. Sometimes I miss, not that often. I try to let people know if I'm not going to be on. But yeah, no, we're here for you every Wednesday at 7 Central. That's 8 East Coast, and Sunday mornings at 10:30 for the brunch. That's 11:30 on the East Coast. We're here in the Chicago zone. Bobcat, I don't know what I'm going to do after graduation. Neither did I, man. Just go party for a while. You'll figure it out. The country's coming to an end anyway. I was looking to find a different country to move to. I'm okay. I'm okay. Thanks, bloody hypocrisies. Yeah, church Wednesdays and Sundays. That's right. Wednesday's Bible study in my world, right? Wednesday night was like that was Bible study night. Halfway through the week, got to remind yourself to read and try to interpret something else again from the same old fucking book. Well, what's Jesus really saying here? Nothing. He didn't even write it. Yeah. Country coming to an end. Well, I don't know if it'll come to an end, but it's just never going to be the same as it was. That's bad. What's boring? Oh yeah, church on Wednesdays. Yeah, the Bible study was boring, wasn't it? Really, really brutal. Isn't that a thing though? Wednesday night Bible study, right? At least the Bible studies I went to were like liberal churches. You could discuss like different interpretations, like non-literal ones of the Bible. And I did watch Don't Look Up. I fucking loved it, man. It got some heinous reviews, and I think it's seen as leftist propaganda, and which it is. And there's nothing wrong with that in my world, but it really calls out science deniers and our obsession with social media, the way we live our lives these days, and celebrity. Cool for Ariana Grande to play that part, kind of making fun of her archetype. I like that, but yeah, I thought it was funny as shit. I laughed from beginning to end, and I recommend it. I recommended it the other night. Didn't get a lot of feedback from people, so I don't know if people didn't like it or we got more right wingers on here than I thought. But if you're like a right winger, you're going to be. I mean, they hand it right to Trump. They shove it right up his ass. All the science deniers, all the anti-vaxxers. It's a big, metaphor for anti-vax. But yeah, no, it was funny. I would watch it. It's funny. Adam McKay is a pretty funny guy. I mean, mentally, I don't know. Maybe I'm overthinking things. They were actually respectable guys. Oh, that's cool. Yeah, a lot of pastors are cool. I've met a lot of priests and pastors who I thought were interesting, fairly thoughtful people and good conversationalists and not crazy judgmental. So that's cool. I'm glad you found some people who at least could discuss without being complete idiots, I guess. Have you looked at Guy Harrison's 50 Reasons People Give for Believing in a God? No, I have not. What is that? I don't even know who Guy Harrison is. Where's my oh, hello, my friend Pericles Perez is on YouTube. What's up, buddy? I skipped away from the window for a second. Sorry about that. I'm gonna write down these ideas. I appreciate it because I do look them up when you got them for me. I'm gonna bring up my to do for TikTok and what you say. Guy Harrison's 50 Reasons. Who's writing that down? 50 Reasons. Somebody else suggested something earlier. What was that? Remember? Tell me again what it is. PayPal, so I don't miss out. Uh, Funny enough, I saw. Oh yeah, you said that. Lots of tongue talking. You want to be a Marine? All right, good for you, man. Good luck with that. Um, you'll learn a lot. That's for sure. There was this jerk on TikTok named Pastor Kyle. He's a young punk pastor who's a hateful bigot. Pastor Kyle. Was it Kyle Shittenhouse? He's a pastor now. Wouldn't surprise me. Lots of tongue talking on Sunday morning. What's that mean? Oh, speaking in tongues? Yikes! Really? On YouTube or on TikTok on lives? That's yucky. What have you got on TikTok and like watch somebody speak in tongues live? My favorite book of all time? I don't. I'll never get over Lord of the Rings when I read it the first time. I think I've read books since then that also blew me away. Um, I loved the Sea Wolf, Joseph Conrad. I want to say. I remember being blown away by that book when I read it. But yeah, I think Lord of the Rings is always the one I go to. It just being 12 years old and reading, and it just took you into that world in a way that I'd never read anything so descriptive that I was just there in a way that I'll never forget. So it seems like I could come up with something deeper to say than that, but it's just always one that comes to mind first. And Blade Runner will probably always be my favorite movie among a million really really favorite movies of mine. Pastor Steven Anderson, who's that? You're excited about it because you won't have to think too much about stuff. I don't know. You might end up thinking about more stuff than you want. You have to think about what to do. They're going to tell you what to do every time you fucking do anything. They're going to tell you. But the skills you learn and people don't understand how especially the officer class in America. In the military, they're very, very, very highly educated. People are like tend to think of, especially if you're on the left and you're like making fun of the military complex and the overpaid and paying too much for screws and hammers and stuff and wasting our money. But the actual military schools, if you go to any of the military academies, you don't even get in unless you're a 4.0 student. You don't. And when you come out of there, you have a fucking education that you just can't get anywhere, and that goes for all of them. West Point, Air Force Academy, Naval Academy, Coast Guard Academy, they're all fucking top-notch schools, period. And people don't get that until you've really been around that world and interacted with some of those people. And yeah, they might maybe you don't like their politics or other part, but you can't call them undereducated. Hi, King Duran. What's up? Love you. Thanks for being here. Oh yeah, Book of Boba Fett. I wanted to bring that up too. Yeah, I'm watching Boba Fett. Yeah, yeah. I'm a Star Wars guy. I'm not so deep into it that I was like I watched the Clone Wars cartoons, which I probably get around to. Other than that, I've seen them all. I was there right. I was right in my wheelhouse. The first Star Wars, the first movie chronologically, in '77 came out when I was right there. I was 13. I mean, right in my wheelhouse. We couldn't believe how lucky we were to be that age and have those three movies come out first. So yeah, I'm hooked. And I thought it was pretty cool. All those things are really well produced. They do a great job. Um, Fucking John Favreau, Jesus, what a did that guy fall into a pot of gold or what, man? What a career this dude is. Now he's like a bigwig at Marvel, and he started as being like a schmuck side actor. It seemed like, a side man or kind of a comic relief sidekick guy. But then now he's in charge of like half of Disney and Marvel, and he's coming up with great content. Really admire that guy. You like The Hobbit better than Lord of the Rings, did you? Nah, can't go there. I like them. I like The Hobbit too, but I read Lord of the Rings first. I think it's a little less streamlined, I think, than The Hobbit was. But it's all great. I mean, I loved it so much. I tried to read the Silmarillion. What a mistake! I can't really do much else besides The Hobbit and Lord of the Rings that's really accessible. Um, I've been stressing out for years over letters on paper. I used to get straight A's. What do you mean letter? Well, thanks, bloody hypocrisies. I'm glad you're here, man. I appreciate you. That's nice, man. I wish I could remember what else. Somebody else asked me if I watched something or read a book. Um, the Republican Party hates science and logic. Yeah, no shit. They hate education. They know that the more educated you are, the less you'll be able to buy their bullshit, and so they are vested in keeping you down, keeping you stupid. They are the ones. They don't want you to question. They don't want you to go to college. They demonize science. They demonize education. Yes, obviously. Religious friends can be really shitty if you're ever feeling down. One disproven theory does not prove your theory. I don't get why theists keep harping on evolution. Let's say that everything I know about evolution is wrong. Let's say I'm wrong about my belief that there was no fraud in elections. Let's say I'm wrong about the fact that the sky is pink and I was lied to my whole life. So fucking what? If you're going to somehow weasel in, therefore God, you have to prove it's true. Yeah, of course. None of that stuff means that there's a God. They could change all the theories tomorrow. The myth of Mother Teresa. What do you guys know about Mother Teresa? I've never really looked deep into that. Uh, when they started coming out that Mother Teresa was necessarily a piece of shit. But what do you guys think about that? Does anybody know like what really went on? Why is it that they've demonized her in a lot of places now? I think she got off on keeping people poor and miserable. I don't know. Is there a book you read or a presentation you saw that cemented your atheism? No. How do Christians get around the Matthew 10:34 passage? Think not that I come to send peace on earth. I came not to send a peace, but a sword. That's a good one for the hypocrites, right? How do they do that? I'm a little congested still. Sorry about the voice, you guys. What do I think about the vaccine? I think it's perfectly safe and decently effective for something that was rushed out. I've had it. I had no side effects, no ill effects, and people are dropping like flies around me from COVID, and I don't have a whiff of it. So I'm gonna get my booster on Monday, and if y'all want to take your chances with the virus, y'all go ahead. Um, but the virus has killed like what 600,000 people in America or some shit. And the vaccine, what like one girl had a bad reaction and died or something. It's like, oh, but take your chances with the fucking virus, buddy. When you get it, I hope it's not a really bad episode for you. I knew some people who got over it right away. I know some people who almost killed, and we all know people who did kill. So, uh, if you'd rather take your chances, then you're not much of a risk manager, and you can go ahead and do that. I'm good with the science. If I thought it was the government pushing it on me, but you see, the thing is that it's not. The government has a vested interest in keeping us alive so we can keep paying taxes. But if you're going to believe that there's a conspiracy theory out there about the virus, then you're going to have to believe that every scientist, every medical professional around the world is involved. There's not enough reputable people who are like, wait a minute, we should think twice about this. Everybody, every scientist, every nurse, every doctor, everybody well, maybe not every nurse because you don't know, but every doctor I've talked to has been like, yeah, you got to get the virus unless you're a punk and an idiot. So unless you can believe that every scientist, every doctor in every country around the world is complicit in American government's effort to get the world to take a vaccine for some unsavory reason is unthinkably stupid. What do you think about schools remaining open? Would you send your kids to school? Yeah, I'm in a tough situation with that because my wife is an anti-vaxxer, and my kids are with her right now. We share custody, but we share custody in a different way than some. And she goes to school. They go to school with her this year, and um, I'm struggling with that. It's tough if kids have to be in school. It was ugly when they weren't. They did terrible on the online stuff. It's too distracting. It's not good for anybody. I'm at a loss, but it's tough not to tell schools that they can't open. But I think they should probably require, um, you know, rigorous testing at a very minimum. And I can't say that I would be against making people get vaccinated, especially as this thing gets worse. People, more and more people getting sick. How long do we put up with it? You're just going to let everybody get sick who didn't get vaccinated? Because that's what's going to happen. Everybody who's not going to get vaccinated and some who did are going to get sick. And then the virus maybe peters out because it's got nowhere else to go because everybody's already sick. If that's the way that you chose to deal with it, then but it's a tough question. If this thing continues to get worse, then I'm going to be more and more on the side of, yeah, you got to require that shit for people. It's not your right to endanger others with your behavior. Period. Once this has been shown to be a grave enough danger for the government to take action to protect the people, then they get to do that. I don't get people who are, it's my right to spew germs and infect people if I want to because I don't need to wear a mask. Shut the fuck up, man. You don't get to just shoot bullets into the air. What's up? It's everyone's favorite space lawyer. The Galactic Lawyer is here. Mother Teresa unalived the same day as Princess Diana emptied people. She kept people poor so she could help her. That's basically the gist of it. She died on the same day Princess Diana. That's rotten. Oh, pain brings you closer to Jesus. Yeah. Oh God. I guess that's true in a way. I'm tired of using my noggin to do that shit. Doesn't matter. You can do that without twisting your brain. Talking about the Marines again, buddy. Was watching a TikToker who has a good argument against God. She said it's a one-sided relationship. Well, of course, it's a one-sided relationship. It's all the billboards like prayer, the original social media. Well, yeah, for people who don't want to get a reply back, how is prayer the original social media? It's fucking retarded. That's a church saying. I wish I'd see it outside of church. It was a billboard I saw. How ignorant of an analogy is that to pull? It's like, yeah, of course it's a one-way relationship. You made it up yourself. I don't believe in every conspiracy theory, but only some. Only some. Some that have some evidence. Okay, bud. Um, yeah, I mean, that's the problem. People get a little grain of truth, and then they extrapolate the rest and they fill in. I was married to a conspiracy theorist, and you could see the way that their minds work with everything in her life, even when it wasn't conspiracy theory. She would find something out about our daughter that was just a smidgen of a fact, a partial truth, a hint, and then fill in the whole story herself, and then make it up in her head like it was like the whole thing was real, verifiable, and you just say like a sane person can realize that you're just jumping to conclusions and taking like a little bit of evidence and trying to find a pattern where there is none just to satisfy your mind. That's I mean I get it. Look at everything, bloody hypocrisies, and decide on your own if you think it's a conspiracy theory or not. But a little bit of good evidence is oftentimes enough for people to take it too far and then afterwards. And then they manage to fit it all together somehow too. That's the other crazy thing. Like no matter what comes up next in the conspiracy theory, there's a way to fit it with the other parts of the conspiracy theory. So I don't get it. Doesn't do anything for me. I don't really uh, um, have that need. You know what I mean? To assign a pattern or to assign answers where I don't have any. Um, it isn't a loving God. It's a God that wants obedience. An atheist doesn't mean not having morals. Of course it doesn't. And yeah, it's not a loving God. It's a good the idea that God would want us to worship him is absurd to me. That too. That's another big one. Why would a being so powerful, so consumed with the work of creation in this gigantic universe and every new soul that pops up, they ask them, why would that person care if we got down and worshiped them. It's ignorant to think that a being that advanced would have that base of a need. It's just it's again ignorant to even think of. I appreciate you giving me some of the benefit of the doubt. Many of them give us a bad name. That's all right, man. I trust you to look into it deeply. And I don't think that there's not malefactors in play here. I'm not one of those guys who's like, yeah, it's all good. The government's got your best interest. No, no. And there's people who are going to take advantage of this. And maybe the virus was made on purpose and let out on us on purpose by the government who now has the cure. It's not a reason not to get the cure. Again, if you want to get COVID and take your fucking chances with your lungs, then go ahead, man. But yeah, I got accused of that. Somebody like, you'll doubt God right away, but you like trust the government. You don't know anything about me, buddy. I'm skeptical about everything, even the shit that comes out of my mouth. The fuck 62. Hello, buddy. Could I ever date a Christian? I don't know. How hot are they? Yeah, I don't meet a lot of atheists. I mean, I've been dating now for several years, and I have to say that I mean all of them aren't atheists. None of them are like Christians where they like give a shit about going to church though. So I guess that makes a difference. I couldn't. I don't think I could date someone who like really needed to be a Christian to go to church. I could date someone who has a belief in God and calls himself a Christian because that's how they were brought up, and they don't really give a shit about it. Uh, and like I say, uh, the heart wants what the heart wants. I love the Antichrist. Who is the Antichrist? We all want to love him. Heart lighter than the feather. That's all you need is a yes. That's right. Heart lighter than a feather. You can go. It's true. I understand as man. Trust me. Like the billboard with a baby on it that says there's proof of God. Nope, that's proof of people. It's like the opposite. Babies. I get on this all the time. People are like, baby's a miracle from God. No, it's the most common thing on the planet. Everything, every organism on the planet can reproduce. A baby is the furthest thing from God. It's the furthest thing from a miracle. It's literally the exact opposite. It's so silly. A lot of conspiracies are rooted in anti-Semitic roots. That's a big generalization, but maybe I can't argue with it. I guess no man is an island unto himself. Much as we try, right? Ooh. I've noticed my algorithm changed. I'm not getting Bible thumpers on my FYP. Well, lucky you. There's a win. Put that one in the win column. God is definitely a guy. The only weird, quiet guy. Is that sarcasm? God is definitely a guy. The only unforgivable sin is not believing in God. Why? And what do those two sentences have to do with each other? God is definitely a guy if he exists, because only a guy could be such a dick. Um, and the only unforgivable sin is not believing in God. It's like that. So he's not all merciful and not all forgiving, because the Quran says he is. Every other fucking verse, the Quran says God is all merciful and all forgiving, but that he can't forgive. It's just such a barrel of shit. It kills me. It literally doesn't hold up to an ounce of scrutiny on any fucking level, on any fucking plane, at any fucking point. None. I couldn't date a Republican or a Christian again. Yeah, it'd be hard for me. I could probably date a Christian before a Republican these days. I think the most potent sign of true intelligence is one willingness to admit they don't know. Yeah, there you go, man. And conspiracy theories are all about assuming you know when you don't know. That's my issue with conspiracy theories. You can't say that you're, you know, the best thing you could do is admit that you don't know, but then ascribe to a conspiracy theory, which literally is something that you don't know, but that you believe anyway, because of specious facts. Scott Norris from Alabama. What's up, man? There wasn't a lot of news style stuff on Reddit today. It's just a lot of posts from people, and some of them are good, and some of them are just silly. But the my school is forcing me and other non-religious students to do Bible study now. Help. Well, Bible study is not horrible by itself. It's that's if you're old enough and you're just studying the Bible, that doesn't have to necessarily be religious, right? I mean, you can study the Bible to study the Bible. I mean, the Bible's interesting from a historical standpoint. I don't know anybody who would say that it isn't. It's just uh, it's not the divine word of God. Just to be clear, I'm not in the USA. I'm in South Africa, and it's a private school. I know that there isn't much I can do with legal matters. I'm in a very small school, 40 students. Yeah, it sounds like it's a little ugly. Last year, our principal decided she's going to become more involved with what's going on, and she started doing Christian study every morning, where all students and teachers are expected to attend. I didn't really have a problem with this, since I could just listen to music or zone out while they're trying to preach the Bible to us. Me and 7 other older students are all atheists. We don't go prancing around telling others about it, since I guess our school is now a Christian school, since our principal is very religious, but I do know most of the teachers know about it and don't have a problem with it. I guess if it's not against the South African Constitution, maybe you can't do anything about it. So that's kind of shit that if it goes on here, you complain to FFRF and you get it, you get it taken care of right away, because that's an egregious violation here. And you still can't get away with that. You can get away with a lot of things, but that one for now you can't. But here we got the Supreme Court here about to let Texas football teams force people to pray to their Christian God before the games, in the name of religious freedom, which of course we know it's religious exceptionalism, not religious freedom. But that's what we're stuck with in America. You're worried about the Russian-Ukraine thing? Yeah, Bobcat. Yeah, but you're gonna go to the Marines? I don't know, but yeah, yeah. At least it's over there. Yeah, I don't know a whole lot about it except that Putin and Russia are basically regional dicks over there. But again, it's like, why are we involved? Let them fucking duke it out. I'm seeing a lot of TikToks of debates from believers talking out their irrational non-logic debates, like against atheists. Bible thumpers always come back. Michael Eisner is the Antichrist. I think there's probably a lot of Antichrists out there, fuckers. He ain't heavy. He's my brother. I'm gonna hang out till 8 o'clock with you guys, and then I'm gonna go inside. Malicious compliance. Oh, a little backwards here. What else you guys got to talk about for 10 minutes, huh? I'm with you till 8. I won't worry about war because I'm naive and that's a risk I agreed to take. I signed the paper. So you're already signed up? These days you can sit behind a desk and fly a drone and make war, right? You could do a lot worse than being in war. These days, you might have been in World War II with nothing to protect you but a muddy trench, and thrush infections. I don't know. I'm worried about all the lives that'll be lost and that have been lost over the Ukraine thing. In Star Wars news, Rancor is the pit bull of the Star Wars universe. Is that the ugly dog thing? Is that Rancor? Or is it the big? Yeah, I always thought that was the bantha, but the banthas are the elephant things, right? That they ride. But yeah, the Rancor that's in the dungeon, right? That they throw people in to eat. It's a big pit bull. I was going to talk to you more about some things, but maybe another time. Okay, buddy, anytime. I appreciate you. I'm glad you're here, interacting. because you guys keep me going. You know what I mean? You know me. I love to rant, and if there's not a lot on Reddit or I haven't like thought of 50 things to talk about, like I do sometimes, and I don't right now. Then I rely on you guys to throw out an idea. Give me something to ad lib off of. Fire me up. What do you got? Nothing. Oh, America the Motion Picture. I still haven't seen that. This was somebody was asking me about. I'll get around to watching all these things, but right now I'm finishing up Poldark, a new season of The Expanse. You guys like The Expanse? 6 fucking episodes. It's expensive, I know, but man, I was disappointed. That's a great show, and only 6 episodes this year. They were really good. Um, uh, that's special science fiction for TV. I think they would do a really good job with that, and I hope they can carry it through um, for a bunch of more seasons. You guys like The Expanse? Good shit, man. At the I appreciate it, man. I'm glad I can be here for you, bloody hypocrisies. I really do. Um, yeah, The Expanse is good, right? You like the ending, right? Right? They set it up. You know there's gonna be another season, right? The way they set up the ending. I won't spoil it if you haven't watched it. Belta Lauda. Squeeze, what's up, bud? Where you been, man? You know what? I tried to watch the Lost in Space remake, and the very first episode, when it was simultaneously raining out and the water that the person was submerged in was freezing so fast they couldn't pull her out. Well, which is it? It's cold enough so water freezes so fast you can't pull someone out of a fucking hole in the ice, or it's raining out. It really lost me after that, and I wanted to like it. You know what I mean? Maybe I'll give it another shot. But I thought that was a really, really easy thing that they shouldn't have overlooked. How is that possible? It ruined the drama for me. I'm like, this person's not going to freeze to death in a hole when it's raining outside. It's not even cold enough to be snowing. Never mind a ice hole freezing in like 8 seconds. It's like, come on, what? But I like Molly Parker. And I was a fan when I was a kid, man. Lost in Space. It was like a before school thing. I want to say for me when I was waiting for the bus, my parents had already gone to work, and they'd leave us to wait for the bus, and we'd shut the door. And Lost in Space was on. I want to say at like 7 in the morning or something. I watched Lost in Space, man. Danger, Will Robinson. We thought that was great, man. And that was 1973 when it was already what a 15-year-old show probably on repeats. The Expanse was created or written by George. No, no, it's um, they're based on. I can't remember the name, but I don't think George R. R. Martin has anything to do with it. It's a different novelist that wrote those, um, and I can't remember right now. But I'm pretty sure it was not George R. R. Martin. Um, I love Game of Thrones or Breaking Bad. They're both two of my top 6 shows of all time, easily. Yes, Breaking Bad was as perfect a story arc in 5 seasons as I've ever seen managed on TV. It was absolutely fucking fantastic. And what can you say about Game of Thrones? I don't put it right at the top because I think there's a pulp factor to it that takes it down a notch from the truly top tier TV shows of all time, which are Mad Men, Wire, Sopranos, Breaking Bad. For me, um, but wow, what can you say when you see those dragons for the first time? Game of Thrones is a watch it anytime for me. That was great shit. You just feel inactive. Feel like you should be doing something, but you're not. Well, rest up, man. If you're going to be joining the damn uh, Marines, buddy. Binging GOT right now, season 4. Just watch. Yeah, that's great shit. I don't know how you put it down once you start. We watched the whole thing twice. I wish I could watch it for the first time again over. Right? Wouldn't that be great? But that's not possible. Howdy from Texas. What's up, Slutter Dust? Long time no see. I forgot about your new name, you Slutter Duster. How are you? I will. Since you said so, Swear Works, I'll give Lost in Space another shot. If English was good enough for Jesus, it's good enough for you, Arkansas Town School Superintendent. Uh, refusing a request that foreign languages be taught in high school. Boy, and again, it was going to be sacrificed. The education system here sucks so bad, but foreign languages were never a priority for American students. We have such a sense of main character syndrome, and we're so isolated from the non-English speaking world, where we're situated on the globe. We don't have to know other languages, and it's not natural for our geographical situation for people in the heartland to just learn other languages like you might if you live in Belgium, where you're surrounded by languages. That's just a byproduct of the way the country is, I think. But it's really it's a shame to me. It's a crying shame that we don't teach languages more in schools and require more. I'm so jealous of every Scandinavian I meet who has 6 years minimum of English and is basically fluent when they've never been to an English speaking country. Not to mention the other 10 languages that they speak. So yeah, it's a real embarrassment that Americans are so isolated, isolationist, protectionist, and honestly entitled, and the whole main character syndrome thing is just like, oh my, learn English. We don't why. It's just it's so culturally bereft. You met Linda Lavin some years ago at a Walmart. That's crazy, Alice. Linda Lavin. Would you recognize her? How old are you, Bloody Hypocrisy? Why would you know who Linda Lavin is unless you're my age? Mandatory at the University of Iowa to get a degree. Nice for them. Nice for them. Yeah, The Wire and The Sopranos were great. The Wire may be the best TV show that's ever been on. I can't wait to get the fuck out of South Carolina, boy. That'd be enough reason to join the fucking Marines for me. James Gandolfini had that Joe Pesci thing where he talked through his nose, right, all the time. Hey, a gabagoo. You got something to make a sandwich, Carl? I want to get a little gabagoo in the fridge. Go down to Bada Bing for happy hour. Have you watched the new Sopranos thing on Netflix? Right, the movie. Right, that's a prequel. I want to see that too. What is it? The original Kings of Newark or some shit? I don't know. But that looks pretty cool. What's up, Tegan? 342. We're about reaching the end. My nose is really stuffy. I'm gonna go in and get me some food and chill out to some more binging on Poldark of all the odd things that I chose to start and I'm now addicted to. Hey, Banana Zoe, what's up with you? Thanks for being here. That's a toot for you. I don't know if I've seen that name in a while, Banana Zoe. She bought a wine magazine for my store and she had an Alaska ID. That's crazy, man. That's crazy. How's she doing? Linda Lavin. All right, gang. I'm going to blast off. Love you all. Thanks for being here. Glad I could make it on a Wednesday night for you. And I'm going to go and take care of my hunger and my nasal passages. Love you long time. I would jump through the screen and make love to each one of you if I could. And I will see you Sunday, if not before. So long, everybody. Bye now.